Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. In this game we're going to be looking at a classic bottom lane pairing with Janna and Kog'maw. This video was sent by the Kog'maw player in this game, which is, well, you see the name here. He was kind enough to include a pronunciation guide with the replay that I'm casting here that came in the email, but I am just going to go with JB because this is a Hungarian name, and Hungarian Magyar is a very difficult language for those who are not native speakers. So JB, thanks for sending this. This is from the European server. Once again, it's really nice to be able to cast cross-region replays, and thanks again to JB for sending this to me. So those of you who are very long-time fans of the channel might recall that the Janna and Kog'maw lane is one of my personal favorite lane pairings. This is essentially the bot lane pairing that Varus Nox and I rode to a gold rating all the way back in Season 1 in 2011. With myself playing Janna and Varus Nox playing Kog'maw. You don't see these champs quite as often nowadays. I don't think that this is one of the top power combos in bot lane right now, but it's still fun to get a chance to see some Kog'maw gameplay. I'll use this as a chance to talk a little bit about Kog'maw as a champion for those who haven't seen him. He's basically the same champion as he was 5-6 years ago or whatever. Hasn't really changed that much. The build is slightly different, but his skills still work the same, and he's very similar. Has great scaling, does well into the late game, really good at munching through tanks on the enemy team. So before we get into that, let me just run through the laning matchups real quickly. We have up in top lane, we have a Yasuo player up against a Riven player, and Riven is really slow in getting to lane. I'm not sure why she's going to let Yasuo take early lane bully advantage here, but in any case, we do have, what did I say? Yasuo against, we gotta swap this here. Yasuo against Riven up in top lane. In mid, we have Orianna against Galio. In the jungle, we have a Trundle and a Kindle player. Trundle for blue team, Kindred for the red team. And then in bottom lane is where we have the Kog'maw plus Janna against a Lucian and Nami pairing. So, quick overview of Kog'maw, what makes him unique. He is one of the better scaling ADs. He is pretty weak early on. He's not that great at early levels, but give him time and he scales up. The big reason for that being is due to his W right here, his Bio Arcane Barrage. His default base range is fairly low, but when he pops his W, he gets bonus range, and then the key thing is that second part. Attacks deal percentage of the target's maximum health as bonus magic damage, so you just kind of carve through the enemy team by dealing percentage of their max health as bonus magic damage. So Kog'maw will deal both physical damage and also magic damage, and is really good at cutting through enemy tanks because he does that percentage of percentage-based damage based on how much health they have. So that's kind of the overview for Kog'maw. He doesn't get played as much nowadays because most of the games nowadays in League tend to be fairly short, and he is a champion who needs to rely on scaling. But we're going to see an example of Kog'maw gameplay here from JB. Alright, before we get into anything else, I will try to run through the skills in this laning matchup. I will say that this is a good laning matchup for Kog'maw, largely because the Nami will not be able to put too much pressure onto the Kog'maw player. This is a lane, this is kind of a traditional lane with Janna and Nami supports. Both of them are kind of sustained supports. This is a lane where Kog'maw isn't really going to be in too much danger of dying unless he really messes up. Now, that's a nice bubble there from Nami, but Nami doesn't really contribute much in the way of damage. So Janna can just work to keep Kog'maw safe. He can sit back and farm. Unless the jungler shows up, he's not really going to be in much danger. And even then, Kindred also does a lot of farming. Kindred's a farm-heavy jungle, so this is not likely to see a whole lot of pressure early on. So a great situation in which to pick Kog'maw and just rely on scaling. So I'm going to run through Kog'maw's abilities just for those who haven't seen them before, and then we'll get into some other issues with this game. I'll start with his passive. Kog'maw's passive, ideally, you will not be using very much in this game, because his passive at Captain Surprise is Kog'maw needs to die in order to use it. When he dies, he starts a chain reaction, causes him to detonate after 4 seconds. He deals true damage. So it's not going to help you in an immediate team fight unless you die, and obviously as an AD, you don't want to die very often. Your goal is to avoid dying, but if you do get killed, you can, explode after your death, and the damage is true damage, so it's hard to dodge it. I mean, I guess you can flash away or dash away or whatever, but interesting little passive there. It's more kind of flavor related, lore related than anything else. Just, yeah, he's a void monster, and when he dies, he explodes. Okay, so let's look at Kog'maw's skills. I'm going to start by talking about his W, because this is his main skill. You already see that JB skilled this at level 1, so with what he's maxing first. Bio-Arcane Barrage is a very long cooldown skill. You can see the 17 seconds, but it lasts for 8 seconds. So you can have this up about roughly half of the time, and it doesn't cost much mana. So the expectation is Kog'Maw is going to be running this pretty much, well, half the time, like I said. So, like I said, basic attacks gain range and deal a percentage of target's bonus maximum health as damage. I mean, I guess I already talked about it, so I shouldn't spend too much time. Let me just see if I can highlight the range. So where is Kog'Maw's range? Alright, so he's 500 base, which is low, and then when he pops this, he goes up to 650, and the range does increase as you put more points in the skill. So he goes from, like, Lucian's range up to Caitlyn's range when he pops this, so it really makes a huge difference. Alright, other skills. Let's go ahead and look at the Q next, because Q is the skill that Kog'Maw will be scaling second. Q is Caustic Spittle. Kog'Maw gains bonus attack speed. That's the passive, and it does help him quite a bit with that extra attack speed, because the way that you build Kog'Maw is to try to stack lots and lots of attack speed. So the passive is nice. The active, not so great. Launches a corrosive projectile, deals magic damage to the first enemy hit, shreds armor and magic resist by 20%. Not really terribly useful, but you still scale this second, or skill this second, because you want that bonus attack speed. Let's just see what's going on elsewhere. It looks like there's a fight going on over here between Trundle and Kindred. Trundle should have the early... Oh boy. Kindred's going to flash for it. Oh, red buff? Is red buff going to get that? Nope, looks like Trundle's okay. And of course, while that happened, I missed the other duel going on in mid where Orianna got a kill. So yeah, bot lane just completely ignored this far. Kog'Maw doing what he wants, which is to just sit here and farm. So this lane's going really well. Kog's a little bit down in farm, but after JB has a chance to farm this wave, he should be within like 2 or 3 minions, and that means he's doing just fine. Yeah, he's 1 minion behind, so he's doing a great job, just stacking up farm, preparing for late game. As I was saying though, Caustic Spittle, I'll wait and see if you can spot when he actually uses the Q. He's used it once or twice, but for the most part, you don't really use this active too often. It's nice for the armor and magic resist shred, but that's about it. It doesn't really do that much damage. You're mostly picking it because you want that passive attack speed. Still, never hurts. Sometimes you get in handy. Sometimes you just need that one little bit more of damage, and the Q can do that. Alright, Kog'Maw's 1-point skill is typically his E, Void Ooze, deals magic damage to enemies hit, leaves a trail on the ground for 4 seconds, slows enemies in it by 20%. This is, because it deals magic damage, it doesn't really fit with an AD Kog'Maw build very well. If you do go AP Kog'Maw, you put more points in the skill. But the main reason you use this is just for the slow. You toss out the Void Ooze, and you get a slow on the enemy. So right there, nice bubble coming in from the Nami player. But Lucian didn't really follow that up too well, so they're able to come out of this trade. I mean, they still lose the trade, but they don't lose it too badly. Janna got chunked a little bit. Still, the Void Ooze, mostly it's just used to try to chase people down. It's used for the slow. The damage itself is pretty low. Right there, a nicely timed Janna shield, so the enemy team's going to go in, a nicely timed exhaust. But now Lucian is ulting, and Janna's going to have to tank that. A nice Zephyr slow. So you're going to see Lucian come forward. I saw the heal come out. Now Trundle's trying to get them. Unfortunately, Kog's going to be finished off with that Nami, what's it called? Her W, Ebb and Flow. The Nami Ebb and Flow actually bounced over and hit him. And so unfortunately, they weren't able to salvage that. So Lucian picks up a kill. Nami actually picks up the kill, as I said, with the Ebb and Flow. Kindred got there in the nick of time to really help out. And so now they're kind of definitively behind in this bottom lane. With the help of Kindred, the enemy lane is able to grab that tower. That's a nice ward, by the way, just to see if you're getting ganked. Ori's going to come down here to try and chase them away. And it looks like she's going to be successful in doing that, but it doesn't make... Oh, Ori going to flash in. Doesn't get the shockwave, though, because Lucian also able to dash out. Oh, Lucian's really low. But this is a 1v3, and it's a nice bubble from Nami. Let's see if she can salvage this. Nice Janna tornado. Oh, so Ori does actually pick up a double kill. I wasn't so sure about that when Ori went in 1v3. But Janna had Ori's back and able to pick up the kill and gets the double buff in the process, which is going to be super nice when Ori goes back to mid lane. So yeah, 3-0 on the game for Orianna against 0-1 for Galio. He's doing the right thing by shoving this tower, denying minions, trying to get that plate. Looks like he will get the first one. There you go. So gets the 160 gold. But Ori is definitely winning that matchup right now. If you want to look at the gold, Ori is, yeah, 1,000 gold ahead. Big difference. So we didn't get it, so let's go back to Kog'Maw for a minute. Now JB's taking this time after that lengthy fight. Now he has a chance to shove. He's going to deny a lot of minions here. So he's actually still even in farm, and getting this plate on the tower is going to help a lot. If he can get a second one, that would be really nice here. 2 plates is basically equal to a kill. A kill is, the default value for a kill is 300. There's the Void Ooze, by the way. Leaves that trail that slows it when it goes behind it. But yeah, a kill is 300 gold. 2 kills is basically, or 2 turret plates is basically equal to a kill if you get the solo plates. Not as much if you're splitting them with someone else. And they did get, unfortunately, Kindred ganks mid and gets a shutdown on the Ori. So overall, though, red team a little bit ahead in this bot lane, but not too far behind. Close enough that Kog'Maw's still in pretty good shape, and JB is going to still continue to look to farm. Also, smart of red team to clear that vision ward in the tri-brush. Okay, so let's cover the ultimate for Kog'Maw while we've got a minute here. Kog'Maw's ultimate, Living Artillery, fires an artillery shot, damages enemies for magic damage. If enemies are below 40% health, they take additional damage. So they take more damage. They take damage based on missing health, and if they're low, they just take a flat amount of damage. This is an ability that has really good range. So like there it is right there. Also, oh, and it also grants vision. That's pretty key that it also grants vision. So right there, you see it being used as a farming tool. You have to be careful not to run yourself out of mana when you use this. As you can see, each subsequent shot within 8 seconds costs 40 more mana. So similar to a Kassadin Riftwalk in that regard, in that if you keep using it, the mana costs keep scaling up. And right there, if you were looking closely, you saw the JB use his Q right there, which you rarely see, but he did a nice job farming it. So a nice Janna Tornado, good Nami wave to get the knockup, but they have the Trundle Pillar here as well, and JB's going to pick up that kill right there. Lucian tried to dash away, but of course the dash does not pop the auto attack. Still hits him, and he's able to pick up a kill, and just like that, is back to being in great shape in this lane once again, because he's going to be able to shove this to tower. Lucian will miss those minions, and then he'll be able to go back and buy, and he should be close to his first item. That gives us a great chance. Let's talk about itemization then, shall we? I actually want to turn off the chat, because the chat gets really annoying in these videos. It's all items that, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Kog'Maw itemization then, shall we? So, if you saw, he started with a Doran's Shield, not a Doran's Blade. And that's because Kog'Maw doesn't really work that well with the Doran's Blade. I mean, you can, but this is it's kind of a safer buy to go with the Doran's Shield. You get the extra health regeneration, and you get that passive that causes you to regenerate health after you take damage from an enemy champ. Because he has Janna, who does support, who doesn't have any heals, it's just kind of a safer choice. The Doran's Blade would, if I highlight the Doran's Blade, the lifesteal, yeah, the lifesteal not as important on Kog'Maw because he's going to get lifesteal from his other items. So just kind of went with the safer item there. And if you look at what he built next, he, well, went straight into Blade of the Ruined King because it's the only other item JB has finished right now. Blade of the Ruined King, attack damage, attack speed, lifesteal, so he's going to get the lifesteal from Blade of the Ruined King. Unique passive, basic attacks deal percentage of the target's current health as bonus damage. So again, you kind of got that ability to cut through tanky champs. Blade of the Ruined King kind of synergizes with Kog'Maw W in that regard with the Bioarcane Barrage. And then you have the active as well, which is deals magic damage, steals their movement speed. So you get a little bit of extra damage and then can slow them. And this is just a good item for Kog'Maw. Gives him kind of everything that he's looking for. It's a nice Nami harass right now. Let's see what's going on up here because it looks like they're pinging a fight. Alright, so let's see. So we got, oh, Ori, wow. Okay, so we saw Ori get horribly blown up. I think Ori was planning to set up a gank, but the enemy team knew she was there, and that did not go well at all. So that's kind of the build as far as Kog'Maw goes. You rush Blade of the Ruined King first, and then the second item is going to be the Ginsu's Rage Blade, so we'll see that in a little bit. I have watched this video before. But for the moment, just going to be more farming, more kind of laid-back gameplay down here. Kog'Maw needs, more than anything else, Kog'Maw needs both levels, and he also needs gold. I mean, sure, every champion needs these, but he's a champion who scales off of both more levels and also off of more gold. And he really needs the extra levels because he needs more points in his W so that he can get more range. And he also gets a larger percentage of target's maximum health as bonus damage. And he also needs more levels in his Q because he's getting that bonus attack speed, getting stacked up on the passive. So Kog doesn't really activate until he has, I mean, this is similar to a lot of ADs, but he doesn't really activate until he has like 3 items and until he's about level, I'd say 11 or 12. And before that, he's really quite weak. So this then gets into something else I wanted to talk about in this video. This is a relatively quiet game. Like, I've had games that are like basically about to end by now at 14 minutes, but this is a game that's had a longer laning phase, so, well, we actually have a fight here, let's get back to this. So, nice use of the exhaust to come out there, right when Lucian went into trade, so that exhaust cuts most of the damage, and then, meanwhile, JB is able to focus on the Nami support and just blow her up and get the kill. Mostly I see supports taking Ignite and not exhaust, but if you're going to take exhaust, that's how to use it. As I was saying a minute ago, it's been a pretty quiet laning phase, and that's what Kog'Maw wants. So let me just talk a little bit about why a champion like Kog'Maw you don't see as often in a game like this right now. And the main reason is, oh wow, JB going in, Blade, oh nice. So he flashes in, Blade of the Ruined King for the slow, and just picks up the kill. Getting back to that point though, why don't you see champions like Kog'Maw as much? Well, the big reason is games just tend to be really fast right now. They mostly tend to be short. Most games are being won in the first 20 to 25 minutes, and Kog'Maw's just not that strong in the early portions of the game. Like, it's 15 minutes, and he still really needs like another 5 minutes or so of farming. And like a lot of games are already decided in that time. I've seen a lot of my games like ending with surrenders at 15 minutes or surrenders at 20 minutes. So, you know, if you need a champion who needs 20 minutes to kind of scale up and get strong, the game might be over before you even really have a chance to get to your key items. And that's one reason why you don't see a champ like Kog'Maw as much. So what's different now as compared to, say, a couple years ago, back when I was playing the game before? I've gone back and watched a number of my old games, and it's really quite interesting how different things are. Oh boy, can Yasuo get out of this one? I'm going to say no. Oh, the minions! Minions too OP. So there's number one. Minions deal more damage now. That's one thing. And it might sound kind of small, but Riot has actually buffed the minions. They do more damage now, which means it's easier to take towers because the minions kick in more damage. And it's also more likely for people to get killed in-game just because the minions contribute more damage. I mean, it's a small thing, but it does matter. And more minions spawn too. Like I think it's after 15 minutes, it's a cannon minion every other wave. And then after 25 minutes, it's a cannon every wave. Like, if you've got more cannons pushing, it means teams can push more, it means more towers are going to fall, and it means the games go faster than they would otherwise. This is nice for Blue Team, though, grabbing this Infernal Drake. They are losing the game pretty badly right now, so they really shouldn't get this Infernal Drake, but they do claim it, and obviously that's going to help them a lot. So that also brings up the question of the dragons, though. I mean, back in the day, dragons just provided gold. Now the dragons provide concrete effects, like the Infernal Drake. I'll go ahead and highlight it on JB's interface right there. Well, if I can lock the camera on him. The Infernal Drake grants first one grants 10%. Wow, I can't highlight this. Jesus, stop moving. 10% extra attack damage and ability power. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot of extra damage as a result of getting that dragon. And that's going to last for the whole game. Oh, by the way, you can see right here. Once JB gets this strong, once he's got Blade of the Ruined King, Berserker Greaves, and when he's got his W up, he can really outtrade just about anyone. Now, they're having to back right now because the enemy team's initiating, but they should be able to get out of this. A nice Spy Arcane Barrage. Oh, the flash bubble from Nami. Let's see. Oh, but Kog was just munching through her, so that's going to take out Nami. But it's probably worth it because the enemy team's able to focus on JB. Oh, his passive almost gets the kill on Galio. Not quite enough. So, excuse me. 2 for 1 in the enemy team's favor. Or 2 for 2. And 2 for 3. Yeah, 3 for 3. Okay. Ori comes in, cleans it up, turns it into a 3 for 3. Ultimately not worth it though because Kindred was mid and Kindred has the Rift Herald, and now Kindred's going to get, it looks like 2 towers mid, so I would not say that was worth it. Better play for the red team than for the blue team. Getting back to my point though, yeah, so I mean, the dragons, the elemental drakes, in particular the Infernal Drake, I mean, it accelerates the game. Similar thing for like the mountain drakes. What does a mountain drake do? Well, it accelerates the game. I mean, teams can take towers faster, they can take barons and dragons faster. And unfortunately Yasuo just got soloed in bot. So yeah, red team clearly winning right now. But obviously having those dragons means the game's faster. I mean, what else makes the game faster? Well, how about the addition of the turret plates? There's a lot of gold in those turret plates. If you get all 4 plates by yourself, it's 160 times 4. What is that? That's 720 gold. I mean, that's a lot of money if you're getting all those turret plates. So it means your champions hit item spikes faster, and it means that the games generally end faster because, you know, champions have more gold to spend. They get bigger items, and they win fights faster. Is a nice Zephyr there from Janna. Oh, can she get the tornado? No. So Riven is going to manage to escape. Almost managed to chase down Riven. So close call there. I mentioned the Elemental Drakes. I mentioned the minions. I mentioned the turret platings. Other things. I mean, we just saw the Rift Herald. The Rift Herald speeds up games as well. If a team has the Rift Herald and then they're able to win a team fight, they don't just take a tower. They take 2 towers or maybe 3 towers. And it causes more towers to go down faster, which of course means that games tend to end sooner. How about the bounties, right? Riot increased the bounties at the beginning, pre-season of Season 9, so like 2 months ago or so. I mean, again, it just means that champs have more gold. But we'll get back to that. So Lucian dashes in. It's a great trundle filler behind him. Meanwhile, Kog'maw just really kind of feeding on these, and I like that redemption usage as well. Early redemption from Janna. So it turns into an inconclusive fight, but look, I mean, both summoners had to be used by Lucian, so he's going to be very, very vulnerable the next time he gets into a fight. Also saw Blade of the Ruined King used on both sides there. And meanwhile, what's JB doing? Well, he's still farming down here. He still needs just a little bit more time. Unfortunately, though, Riven is legendary, and oh boy, that ignites. He picks up one kill, then that ignite's going to pick up another kill, and oh boy, 901, 1,000 gold bounce. But like, look, if they can get the kill on Riven, she does have 1,000 gold bounty on her head. The problem is things are just not looking good for JB's team right now. They're down 4,000 gold. Looks like they're potentially going to lose their mid-turn. Oh boy. Nice use of the stopwatch there from Janna. Is it going to survive? It's not going to be enough to survive, for her to survive her. Not going to be quite enough. Tower still goes down. Janna still dies, but it was a nice idea at least. By the way, they should probably have Lucian with them if they're going to do this push. But that inhib's going to go down, and so now it's a 5,000 gold lead for red team, and they've already gotten inhib. I mean, like, this is early for an inhib to go down. Like, back in Season 2 or Season 3, you very rarely saw an inhib fall at 20 minutes, but it's very common these days. And those are all reasons why you don't see Kog'Maw played as much for that exact reason. I don't know about this though. The call for Baron here, this is pretty questionable. Let's see if JB's team is able to spot them here. Do they have vision of this? No, no vision. Meanwhile, let's see. Are they going to be able to catch them here? I just don't like this call because the red team had already pushed. They really should just go back and spend their gold. They should be on a lot of unspent gold. Like, yeah, 1,000 gold on Riven, Kindred 700. But just feels really risky to be looking to take Baron right there after they already had a long, lengthy push. So it's a great Trundle pillar. See, JB is in the process of sitting back here. He's trying to stay safe from Galio and trying to stay safe from Riven. Meanwhile, behind the play, we're going to see the Trundle player pick off Kindred. A really nice use of Blade of the Ruined King there. So they actually are going to pick up that one kill, and now Nami in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Nami doesn't really want to 1v1 Yasuo. Good defensive bubble, but it misses, and that means, yeah, you're dead. So pick up another kill there. And over here, Riven and Galio aren't really doing much of anything. So 2 for 0, and now they've bought enough time to clear the super minions in mid, which is really key because if JB doesn't clear this wave, they're going to lose the Nexus turret. This Nexus turret would fall if he's not there. There is still fighting going on over here. Let's see, Orianna getting very low, but Janna is here. Oh, can Janna get over here and shield this? Oh, Galio's going to flash for it. Okay, well, if he's going to flash for it, then not much you can do about that. He used flash and ignite, and now he's going to go over the wall. So double Cloud Drake for the red team. Unfortunate for them that they were not able to get the one Infernal Drake that spawned. If they had gotten the Infernal Drake, they'd be in much better shape. But they didn't, and so it's JB and his team who's going to take advantage of that bonus attack damage and ability power. So I don't mean to belabor the point. My whole point is just there's way more gold in the game. The games end up going much faster. And as a result, a champion like Kog'Maw, there's just not as much room for him, at least not in solo queue. Maybe in rank 5s, you'll see it more often. But it's just harder. Oh, there was his Q, by the way, if you weren't paying attention. That was the first time. One of the few times I've seen the Caustic Spittle actually used. Still, JB's starting to get strong. 160 minion kills is pretty good for this stage of the game. Team's looking to try to set a trap here. Kindred does not realize that Yasuo is right there. So if Yasuo can hit a tornado and get the knockup, then maybe the rest of the team could follow. But I guess not. So even though they are pretty far behind, the red team has not done as good of a job of snowballing their advantage as they could have. They were 4,000, they were 5,000 gold ahead. Now they're down to 3,000 gold ahead. And with that Infernal Drake in the back pocket of the blue team, they're still going to be in pretty good shape. So if you're blue team right now, if you're losing the game, what do? You ward up your jungle, you wait and look for opportunities to make plays, try to catch somebody who's overextending, see if you can catch them doing a stupid Baron or Dragon that's not really safe to do, and just try to play off of that. It is a 2v3 right here in bot lane, but JB should be safe to get that. If you want to talk, while we've got kind of a moment here before the next team fight breaks out. Again, as I mentioned before, W first on the skill, then Q, 1 point knee, skill your ult when it's available. Riven was taking some harass there, but she is able to dash out. Anyway, Yasuo's not with them, so this could be dangerous for them. Red team either needs to send someone back to deal with Yasuo, or hard engage. Oh, great Orianna ult right there. Forces out the Kindred ult as well. Unfortunately, though, JB gets taunted by Galio. That's not great. They really needed him in this fight, and now the enemy team is piling on the damage. With Galio jumping in as well, yeah. So, ooh, that was ugly. That did not go well. It looked like a great start to the fight, and it was with Orianna getting off that shockwave. But unfortunately, JB got taunted, and once that happened, It was a 5v4. Yeah, it was a 5v4 down here in bot. And without JB's damage, there wasn't a whole lot they could do. So Yasuo did what he could. He got a tower in top. Actually got 2 towers in top, but doesn't make up for losing that team fight that badly. And so now red team's back out in front to a pretty good extent. Also, note this. The super minions in mid are going to look to take one of these Nexus turrets. I think that JB's going to get back in time to save this. One of the nice uses of Janna Tornado, you can use Janna Tornado to shield turrets. Okay, so it looks like they made it back in enough time. The tower didn't get that low, but you can see they're really in danger right now. If they lose one more team fight like that, it's going to be the end of the game. It was kind of fortunate that this was way down here in bot, because if it had been like in mid, then red team could have run and taken Baron off of that, which would have been a disaster for them. In terms of the item build, I'll just get back to this for a second on JB. So he built Blade of the Ruined King first, standard boots too, he got the Berserker Greaves, and then he went into the Ginsu's Rage Blade. There's not a lot of champions in the game right now that want Rage Blade, but Kog'Maw is definitely one of them. Attack damage, ability power, attack speed, deals magic damage on hit, gives armor pen and magic pen, which is really useful for him, and then your basic attacks can stack up to 6 times with extra attack speed. So when JB uses, when he's got his Rage Blade fully stacked up, he gets very close to the cap on attack speed. So he's at 1.9 now. He gets up close to the max, which is 2.5 on his attack speed. So he's pretty much where he needs to be. Now all he really needs to do is get a damage item. Like, he's got the attack speed, now he needs to get more damage. And it looks like he's building Zeal. I think he's going to get a rapid fire cannon for his next item. So he's pretty much online right now. He's got the damage, yeah, so there's the Zeal, more attack speed, getting the crit chance, and also the movement speed. So pick up, now he needs damage, he needs critical strike chance, and we're going to see how effective this split proves to be, because the enemy team is going for Baron, and it's not a very safe Baron because they've been walking over this speed shrine. So let's try to keep an eye on what's going on down here. We see Yasuo have to flash to safety over the wall, but Orianna got off a very nice ult, and she chunked Galio super duper hard. So, yeah, red team forced off Baron. That was not a safe Baron. They should not have started that. And now blue team, as a result of winning that little fight, is going to be able to get down here and clear all the red team's wards. Right now, the focus should probably be more on the dragon, although it's another Cloud Drake, which is not great for the red team. What they'd really want is, like, an Infernal Drake, ideally, to match that. But something else, like, with them already having double Cloud Drakes, the third one doesn't do that much for them, so it's not a great dragon spawn. Unfortunately, Dragon RNG, too powerful. Still, they're in good shape overall in this game. I mean, they're still, what, about 2,500 gold ahead. You can see the pings coming out for Dragon. They probably should be in better shape than they are. They really didn't do much with getting that inhib down in mid. Like, I feel like they could have played around that a little bit better. And yes, this is a solo queue game, so it's always a little tricky with teams who don't know each other. But I don't think they used their advantage as well as they could have. And blue team is still sticking in this game, so they're going to look to do the Cloud Drake. Let's see. I don't know if there's a way that JB's team can really do this. They don't have vision right now. Yeah, there's not much they can do. So 3-1 in Dragons, but it is a little bit unfortunate for red team that they've all been Cloud Drakes. They do move really fast, though. 6% movement speed and then tripled when out of combat. So the 6% movement speed in combat is quite nice. Like Kindred, you can see right here, running at 470 movement speed. That is quite fast. What does she have in terms of... Yeah, she's got the... what does she have? She has just the Merc Treads. I was actually looking at this. Sorry if I seemed flustered for a second there. I was actually looking at this and I was like, huh, does she have mobility boots? And I was like, no, she has triple Cloud Drake. She just moves as though she has mobility boots because they, yeah, they've got the triple Cloud Drake. Right now, JB just grabbing the red buff, looking to get ready for the next team fight. So we've already gone fairly long in this game. Like right now, 28 minutes. This is already starting to be a fairly long game by current league standards, at least for solo queue. You just don't see games last too much longer, but sure enough, now as we're about to hit the 30-minute mark, we're seeing Kog'Maw get to the point where Kog will just significantly outdamage the Lucian player. Now, Lucian's got great mobility, but Lucian is using an armor-piercing build based on the Black Cleaver, and also this, I don't even know what this item is, but we'll get back to this in a minute. Janna gets bursted down. Over here, Yasuo is in trouble. So the start of this team fight does not look good at all for the blue team. But the good news is JB's in position. He is just going to start lunching through people. So picks up a kill there. Trundle picks up a double kill. And we're going to see a nice Zanya's usage right there. Stopwatch or Zanya's, I'm not sure which. And let's see, JB just needs his W to come off cooldown. It's 2 seconds for coming off cooldown. There it is. So now he's going to walk into the Kindred ult so he cannot die. That's really smart. And now he's going to continue chasing down Kindred. Picks up that kill. Let's see if he can manage to run down Nami as well. He does have the inside lane here. Yep, sorry, there's nothing Nami can do at this point. Up, got red buff to slow on those autos. And Ori's going to pick that up. So what looked like a really bad team fight gets turned around. Even though who was it that got picked at the start of the fight? I think it was Trundle who got picked at the start of the fight, but they're able to turn it around, clean up the rest of the enemy team on an ace. Really nice stuff from Trundle. He got off a double kill, got off his killer, and with the whole enemy team ace, they can go ahead and do this. It's quite safe to do, even though they don't have a jungler up. And Kog'Maw is just chomp, 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 munching through that Baron. And let's see, there they go. Ooh, Yasuo's getting a little low. Probably should have backed off there and let Kog'Maw tank it, but they grab the Baron, and that is a key turning point in this game because they've now evened up the gold and they have the Baron buff, and Kog is just fantastic to have Baron on. For those who are still learning the game, Baron gives you the fast recall, gives you bonus attack damage and ability power. I believe it's 40 attack damage and 40 ability power. Not 100. That's what it was, you know, a couple years ago. I'm not sure if it's still the same. And Kog'Maw can use both the attack damage and the ability power. You can see he's now out to 635. Oh, he didn't end up going for a rapid fire cannon. He went for the Ruden's Hurricane. So this is on hit. This is the on hit Kog'Maw. It's basically a build where you stack lots and lots of attack speed with on hit effects. So the Ruden's Hurricane is more attack speed, more crit chance, and then the unique passive is you shoot 3 bolts at a time. Bolts are fired at up to 2 enemies near the targets. Each one deals physical damage, but they can critically strike, and they can apply on-hit effects. So that percentage of target's max health that Kog'Maw does, it will get applied by the extra Ruden's Hurricane bolts. So this is what Kog'Maw wants right now. This is what makes him, like, it's now 30 minutes, he's got 6 kills, he's hit 12,000 gold. Like, Kog'Maw's online at this point, and it really takes him to, like, the 30-minute mark to kind of come online. But now that he is, watch out, enemy team, because Kog is super-duper strong. The other thing I should just talk briefly about is, I haven't talked much about Janna in this game. Janna is a fantastic pairing for Kog'Maw. Kog's biggest weakness is he has no escape skills, and he has very little in the way of utility. He's pretty much just damage. I mean, he's got the slow on his E, on the Voidoo's, but Kog's pretty much just all damage, so he needs a support to pair with him that's going to keep him safe and is going to add utility to the team, and Janna does that. In particular, her shield is just outstanding to give to Kog'Maw, because one thing Kog'Maw does not build a lot of is raw damage. Like, if you're looking at this build, there's no Bloodthirster here, there's no Infinity Edge, there's nothing that just adds a lot of raw damage. So when Kog'Maw gets the shield, Janna can add about 50 AD to him, and that's like the one missing piece of this build. So watch, when Janna puts the shield on Kog, he attacks super fast, he does a percentage of the enemy champ's max life as damage, and he's getting huge amounts of flat damage from the Janna shield, which is now down to a 5-second cooldown. So Janna's actually a little bit like Kog. Janna's pretty weak early on in the early laning phase, but she needs more levels and she needs cooldown reduction, and once she gets that, she starts to become very strong. She's a great late game teamfight champ because she's just so disruptive, and that shield's on a short cooldown. So yeah, 285 attack damage with basically max attack speed. When the Ginsus get stacked up, it's max attack speed. Oh, nice Orianna ball right there, chunking the Nami player. Kindred's going to try to come in from the side, but a beautiful pillar right here is going to wall them off. Now watch JB's positioning back here. He's very safe in the back line. Just going to try to chomp down on the enemy team. So he gets 1 kill right there. Actually, Trundle gets that. Meanwhile, the front line is dying, but it doesn't matter. Kog's still alive, and Kog is going to kill everyone once that front line is down. Really nice Trundle pillar right here. When Kindred came in, that pillar just shunted Kindred away from the rest of the team, and now, yeah, look at that attack speed, 2.5, that's max attack speed, and has those triple bolts coming out. Enemy team, not much they can do at this point. You got a fed Kog'Maw on the enemy team, and wow, I mean, are they going to end the game right here? The only one up, though, is Nami, so, I mean, it looks like they probably can. I mean, okay, there's nothing Nami can do here. She's just going to die instantly, yep. So JB, happy to pick that up for his 9th kill of the match. He did use Blade of the Ruined King, and that's going to be it. There's no way they can get the rest of their champs up in time. You even see the stopwatch. Okay, I don't know about that stopwatch usage there, but the stopwatch usage just for the little flare at the end of the game to show that, yep, game's over, and this one's a victory. So I hope that showcases a little bit of the Kog'Maw gameplay. I tried to highlight both his strengths and his weaknesses. Kog'Maw is fantastic if you can reach this point in time in the game. Note the time, 33 minutes. If you can keep Kog safe in a team fight once Kog's on, three full items plus boots at this point. If you can get Kog to this point, it's going to be super duper strong, going to munch through the entire enemy team. But the reason you don't see him as much is you don't often get kind of games that are this laid back, situations where the enemy team is going to sit back and let Cog farm. You should not let Cog sit back and farm, but he was able to do so in this game, and then JB gets strong enough to murder everyone, so GG. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again to JB for sending this as well. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.